Wrong intro.
I was like, that's not for us.
That's the wrong button. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Diz Idiots for August 3rd, 2021. Coming to you live from the Creaky Tiki Studios and all around the world. We have Bruce.
Hey, everybody.
There we go. We have Brian.
What up?
And the only one here whose name doesn't begin with a B. Dozer.
We're not calling you poser. That just sounds not good.
No. Bozo, maybe, but that might be copyright infringement. Does anybody even remember Bozo?
Mm-hmm.
Like
people just call you a bozo now. Now it's just a general insult. And when it was just meant to be a clown.
Like, I remember Bozo existed, but I don't remember a thing about the show. I know I watched it at some point.
They still sell the beat 'em ups. I just got one for my nephew.
I just remember the Bozo clown from Home Alone 2 when he's in the shower.
Yeah? Was that Bozo?
So, well, I thought it was Bozo the clown.
You know, I don't remember Home Alone 2 that well, so...
I don't like Home Alone movies. I didn't like Home Alone, don't like Home Alone 2.
Why not?
She never did, even as a kid.
Really?
Just like whenever was going crazy about the Ace Ventura and the Mask, no, just wasn't for me.
Who hurt you as a child?
That was my kick.
I was watching smart comedies like Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Okay.
They're men.
Monty Python.
Manly men.
Mm-hmm.
Tights. Anyway, you know what? I'm going to start things off here a little bit. Ladies and gentlemen, as we sit here on August 3rd, we are now officially 1 month away from Halloween Horror Nights starting down in Florida. We are 1 month, not much to update, no new house announcements yet, expecting more soon, which says to me all that's left are going to be 7 original houses.
Yeah.
We know some of them, if you watched before, Puppet Theater was announced but not announced, and Welcome to Scary is all but announced because I've seen the facade that actually says Welcome to Scary on it. Other things going on, we have Scare Zone construction is underway in New York. What is supposed to be called Seek and Destroy is the rumor name of it. Picture, from my understanding, it's the Hunger Games, but Horror Night style. The controller's watching you, obey the controller. And right at the entrance, you have 30 years, 30 fears. Just put up everything today. It's all going in place. All the icons, including Lady Luck and Chance, are featured. Not Bloody Mary, though. The witches have been rumored. That was rumored last year, and that's why HHI Icons captured the house. I'm sure it's going to be announced, and the rumor for that, it was all these icons minus Bloody Mary. And that is your Horror Nights update for the week.
Why minus Bloody Mary?
There were issues. I've heard there's all sorts of reasons, and there's issues with the character, whether they consider her an icon or not. She fits. They toss it up where she's not, but she's in. What just determines an icon is if you're featured in marketing. Basically, if you're featured in marketing, you're an icon. You have to be featured in marketing for the event, which she was. But she also was featured in the house, which also usually, because the usher is an icon, he does not a lick of marketing for Rip for the Silver Screen because it was all the Chucky and whatnot, Chucky and Saw and whatnot. But he had a house and is considered the icon for the event. So there's all sorts of things that go on Bloody Mary. I think it's mainly because she was not well liked that year. Her house did not go over well. I've heard some people who loved it. I've heard a lot of people who said it was a very, very lame house compared to the rest of the event.
Well, hey, not everything can be a winner.
It also could be because Bloody Mary is going to be in the legendary Truth House. Who knows?
I know nothing. I'll pretend to know stuff, but I know
you don't
nothing.
have to. That's what I'm here for. And Brian.
Is Beetlejuice coming back?
Oh yeah, Beetlejuice was the first house announced.
Okay, I figured because they had like that teaser from last somewhat
That was not a
How-
teaser. From my understanding, they did not want to do that. That's why it was not announced or anything. It was apparently in the contract. They had to have it open for at least one day. Universal
Okay.
felt struck. They didn't want to do that. They were going to have some more of an event. Obviously, many reasons happened. They couldn't more
Right.
than just COVID. There were other reasons beyond that. But the rumor has it they felt contractually obligated to run it once. It was always the plan. Beetlejuice is going to be involved for this year. Our confirmed houses are Beetlejuice, Haunting a Hill House, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and Bride Lives.
Now, the Haunting a Hill House, are they doing both shows like Blind Manor? Or
Haunting of a Hill House would just be, the other season was called Haunting of Bly Manor. It is expected to be just Hill House. Again, This was supposed to come out before Bly Manor was out.
True, yeah. So
Now,
maybe
that doesn't necessarily mean anything. Certainly, Insidious 4 got pushed, and that was enough. The Horror Nights House was seen as the trailer for the movie when they did that, but it is entirely, it's most like, I could be wrong. From my understanding, it's just going to be The Haunting of Hill House.
Okay. Yeah, I can't wait. I think I haven't decided yet when I go down in September, because I was going to go to the Mickey's Boo Bash, but it's sold out. Like, we couldn't get tickets. That event sold out.
I don't think you're missing much with Boo Bash.
You're not.
Yeah. So I think like some people are going to go to the Boo Bash because some got tickets in the group that I'm going with, but not all of us did. So I'm thinking I might actually just treat myself to Halloween Horror Nights that night.
Hell yeah!
Dude,
Hell
Horror
yeah!
Nights.
Yeah.
It's the 30th. You want to miss this?
I know.
Come
No,
on.
I know. I don't think I'm gonna miss this. And when I heard
the original houses, if the original houses are, this is too good to miss. And it's mostly original. This is just too good to pass up. And also, Texas Chainsaw it does not sound like it's a carbon copy of 2016 because it's in a soundstage now, or rumored to be in soundstage and not in the Sprung tent. This looks to be, and it says all new scares based on the original movie. It sounds to me like this is going to be a different house in 2016.
Was the 2016 one the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake, or was it based off like the original?
Just the original, just like this.
Okay.
It was based on the 1970s version. 1974, I believe.
Okay, so this one's going to be an all-new house, but it's still based from the very first.
The rumor was it was going to be in the remake. This is on the 1974, but it doesn't mention the 2016 house at all so far. So that's what I think is going to be. I could be wrong. It could be a redo, but it would be very odd for them to do an exact redo. They did this obviously with American Werewolf in London, but that was soundstage, not Sprung tent to soundstage. I foresee this being a very different house. For a variety of reasons. I believe we're going to start at the gas station, starting right in the house. I think there's a lot of things that go into that.
Have you guys watched on what Netflix? It's R.L. Stein's Fear
Street.
Yeah, have you watched that? Okay, so I
love Fear Street.
Right? How cool would that be as a haunted house?
Oh, please! Already thought of that. I'm on board.
Like,
doing all of them as one would be excellent.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like, have a Fear Street, or even better yet, Scare Zone haunted house, Fear Street. So Scare Zone Fear Street with a house.
You probably wouldn't have both in the same year. It would be a difficult one to do with that, because the costumes inside the houses are always a little different than the ones on the street.
True.
I mean, everything. Listen, having Fear Street as a scare zone and then the next year as a house or something like that is always possible. I wouldn't mind it because they do tend to do a more PG-13. They've been doing some other houses that aren't as scary, so I think it'd be excellent. Because frankly, as long as they answer who the hell is the Humpty Dumpty killer and what did they do? Come on, you cannot talk about this character for 3 times and not tell me what they did. Who is Humpty Dumpty? Anyway, I digress.
Yeah.
Long-term booking, man. Long-term booking. But
I'm sorry. Which podcast are we doing now?
Yeah, right.
It works. You know, I think it would have been cool for the 30th if they remastered one of the original houses from the first one.
See, I was hoping for that possibly, but because they did that in 2016, 16 and 2006. There was 16. They did, Dungeon of Terror and everything.
Right.
I'm surprised they didn't, but who knows? Now, it's not to say we won't see rooms from those, possibly, because who knows, Welcome to Scary, what it could include, and such with Wicked. There's a couple of options here, but I don't disagree with you. I think it would be cool if they had really just Dungeon of Terror, but part of that is also, I can understand not doing Dungeon. People Under the Stairs or Psycho or something I could see doing. I can understand with Jaws Q being long gone.
Wait, the Jaws queue's gone? When that happened?
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
There's a little bit of magic.
Jaws.
Well, from one incredibly disappointing thing to another, apparently you got to wear masks indoors at Disney again.
Yeah.
Because the Delta Dreamflight variant is ravaging the state of Florida.
Yeah.
For now. For now, who knows what will happen? But it's just inside for right now, and it's apparently also Disney stores around the country are doing it.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. Again, I just struggle with the whole concept of getting a 3-year-old to wear a mask, but
yeah. Now, where about you guys? Is your city mandating masks again inside?
No.
No comment.
They are here. They're starting to.
No, we don't care.
Nothing yet. Don't know. We'll see how everything goes.
Yeah.
But since the mask mandate is back, not being outside is helpful. At least most indoor buildings are,
right.
Air conditioned.
Yeah, we all know where I'm going with that being August. So at least, but so if you are traveling down, remember, don't forget your face masks, because I'm sure Disney is more than happy to sell you one. And since they're requiring them, I bet they're back at a premium price.
Yeah, they just announced that too. They've gone up a few bucks.
So
amazing.
I will say. We had some friends, and they brought Bella back some face masks from Disney. They are the hottest face masks I've ever seen. Like
hot, like
cool.
Damn,
made of fleece and.
Okay.
You know why?
This thick.
The problem is the Floridians aren't bothered by it. They're not like the rest of us. I'm not. And if you're from Florida. Mwah, I love you. I'm not knocking it. But Floridians tolerate it's what you do. They come up here, oh my God, it's chilly, and I have to put a jacket on. I'm like, it's 68. What's wrong with you?
That is true.
Yeah. They're Instagrammers because, have you seen the Starbucks things that they do down there? The secret menus for the Princess Aurora Frappuccino, which is pretty much all sugar and no coffee. And I'm like...
Yeah. I'm sorry, secret menus bother me because if enough people know about it, it's not secret.
Oh no.
Oh wait, hold on. That's the wrong mug. Hold on.
Copyright infringement.
You didn't finish it. We're good. It's under 10 seconds. We're okay. Who's gonna see this? Who the hell's watching? No one.
The ghost of Alex Trebek.
So it's Star Wars Been There series Starbucks mugs. This one, of course, is from Galaxy's Edge.
Really?
Yeah. They also have 2 in the other series. Well, actually, this is the second series. There was a trilogy last year. There's a new trilogy this year. I guess they're continuing on. So this year it's Batu, Tatooine, and Dagobah, and they're all different colors. So this one has a blue interior.
Let me just say to the merchandising people at Starbucks and Disney, screw you. I don't need more of these to try and buy on my trip down. I already bring a suitcase home with them every year.
And I say, smart as always.
Yeah, genius. I saw this on May the 4th, and I'm like, yeah, I got to buy this.
But that's how it works. I got to give them credit. When they come out with merch like that, it always sells. And they'll do this until the day they stop selling.
speaking of merchandise, and this dropped out of nowhere, and I was very hesitant to buying it, but now I'm like, if I buy it, my wife will kill me. Disney announced for like 1 day only, it was a full replica of the golden idol from Raiders of the Lost Ark from the beginning. The golden head.
I'm stunned you didn't. I am stunned you didn't buy it.
$199.
I'm not stunned you didn't buy it.
It was $200 on the Disney website, and I'm like,
hey, yo, come on! I mean, it's cheaper than the castle.
True.
That's
True.
a very low bar.
But
Jeez.
I just popped on the Disney website and I feel my wallet getting lighter as I see new Dooney and Burks have dropped, and my wife will absolutely love all of them.
How many does she have already?
7.
I think only 3 or 4.
I don't
Different
actually
sizes.
know. I just said a number. I actually have no idea.
Hey, I'm digging the Tommy Bahamas they're selling. There's this one that it's a Hawaiian shirt. It's a Pirates of the Caribbean. I saw that one. I was like, that's cool.
It's typical, honestly, and I can't even say it's Disney or Tommy because they're all expensive. I saw it's like, of course, it's Tommy Bahamas, so I don't want to afford it. But if you do, Tommy Bahamas are quality.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I need to lose like 100 pounds to fit back into my Tommy Bahamas, which it's a bad thing when you're outgrowing Hawaiian shirts.
Have you guys ever tried? So I bought these shirts down in Florida. They're called Real Legend. They're fisherman shirts, but it's that like, I don't know, like I can't really describe the material. It's like that, I don't know, like windsurfing or like deep sea fishing layered shirts that are breathable for like summertime. Anyway, when we were in Charleston, they had a shop down there, and they sold these Hawaiian shirts, and I'm like, all right, let me try this on. It's really comfortable, and it was, I'd say $40, $50, something like that.
Bad. As a connoisseur of Hawaiian shirts, I have not tried them, but I will.
Yeah, give it a test drive. But they can actually be found at Bealls, the department stores down there in Florida, like the Kohl's of Florida. Real Legends, their clothing's fantastic and it's cheap. Like T-shirts, the same kind of material, are like on sale for $14.95 a T-shirt.
It's good to know. There you go, folks. Real.
Plug in Real Legends.
You come for bad Disney news, you get good shopping tips. That's what we're here for.
Speaking of bad Disney news, we're gonna head on back to the old. Speaking of Real Legend, speaking animals and everything, we're gonna jump on over to Animal Kingdom. In case you haven't heard, dinosaur merchandise apparently is extinct. Good luck finding it. They've pulled all from the shelves. Not just from the attraction, but from the dinosaurs themselves. They have a lot less. They're being told. The reason being is that they're out of it, which is possible. All sorts of things that could be getting rid of 50th merchandise. They want to get rid of inventory. It could simply be they're really not selling. It's going to Cast Connection, and we're moving on with our lives. We need the space for other things, and just if that ain't selling, we'll put more merchandise that we think is selling in. It's all sorts of things, but if you're looking for dinosaur merchandise, eBay is probably your best bet. Or if you're down there, a cast member, Cast Connection, always try it.
I've never looked for dinosaur merchandise in my life, so I'm not going to start now.
Confession. All right, so this goes back, I want to say this actually goes back to the first attraction, Countdown to Extinction.
The first name, it's the same attraction. Nothing changed.
They may have changed the lighting a little bit, or the dialogue. Or maybe
nothing. They literally one day just said we're going to name it to our movie. It was just done to promote a movie.
That's true, to promote. Okay, I actually have. I don't know if it's still open or not, but I bought a Hot Wheels CTX Rover. And it was good. It's like this, pretty big size too from Hot Wheels. I can't remember if I opened it or not.
I was gonna buy one of the big Vinylmation Carnotauruses, and I really wish I did. Not that they sell them anymore. But, also the rumors, in case, again, we don't always comment on rumors here. Rumors are rumors until rumors are possible that it could be under a re-theme. Listen, we've heard these rumors for Dinosaur for many, many years. I doubt that is here. Yeah, thank you. It's the same word anyway. Same thing.
Just most of it isn't broken.
Yeah. But that right now here at the Disidiots, we don't acknowledge that or not. And in fact, I refuse to acknowledge it because Countdown to Extinction and Dinosaur ain't going nowhere.
The whole land around it is.
Shh, leave me alone. Don't let me acknowledge my. Listen, I already have to acknowledge my country bears are leaving. I gotta get rid of my dinosaur too.
Everything's leaving eventually. That's how Disney works.
Yeah.
Wait, time out. The Bears, did they actually... I didn't hear anything.
They haven't announced it. We just tease them about it every week.
That's a running gag I do, is that tease that, the one day, because I have my other mug is a Country Bear jug, which I love. So I love the Country Bears. Listen, he's right. Change happens. One day, most of our attractions of any kind of, if you like it, ride it while you can. You never know what's going to be gone tomorrow.
Look.
Speaking... Oh, go ahead. What were you going to say?
At one point, the Delta Dream Flight variant was my favorite ride.
That was a fun ride. Speaking of rides, it was based off of a ride that just came out on Disney Plus in theaters. I watched The Jungle Cruise.
Oh, tell us.
Is it worth my $30?
Is it worth the time? Is it worth the trip?
You know what? Don't take it for granted, but it actually was worth it. It really was worth it. Disney, surprisingly, this film, to me, I feel like, they don't need IPs like Indiana Jones or big franchises to draw an audience in, because this film had it. This film had it took elements so the foundation of this film was clearly The African Queen with Humphrey Bogart. That was pretty much the concept of
the base of the ride is the base of the movie. Shocking.
Right. Then we add a little bit of Romancing the Stone with the Disney films of Pirates and throwing in a little bit of The Mummy. The Brendan Fraser film, not the Tom Cruise one.
Well, that's just because The Rock's here.
Well,
we do not acknowledge the other movie that another company produced. Continue.
Correct. And then with Indiana Jones, of course. There was what I loved about it was not only the fan service, because I loved the ride. I really appreciated what they did and how they did it into the film. I don't want to spoil too much. I don't know if you guys saw it or not.
Did not yet. I do plan. I usually will wait until this comes to be included with Disney Plus. I do plan on watching it, mainly because, listen, I love The Rock. I love Emily Blunt. How bad could it be? I love the attraction. There's a lot of love here.
I have a very important question to ask, Brian.
Go ahead.
Was it punderful?
It was very punderful.
Yeah, we're good.
Very punderful. The way how they did it was perfect. Absolutely perfect. I knew where it was going. That's the other thing too. For this being a Disney film, it very much has the Disney heart. It has the Disney, what I call the Disney cheesiness aspect, which is the Disney.
You gotta have it. That's what makes
it. You gotta have it. You gotta have it.
If you didn't have it, it wouldn't be. Listen, Disney's a multinational company with multifacets. They've done all sorts of films. There's been so many films under the Disney brand you don't even know they were technically a Disney movie. But if you didn't have it, it would not have that Disney stamp of approval. And frankly, people have an expectation. So I'm glad to hear that that's in it.
Yeah. So it is for adults. It's predictable. This is definitely also a family film. Liz and I watched it, absolutely loved it. If we had kids, the kids would definitely love this film. It had everything. It had everything to it. It was predictable. there was a little twist that I was like, okay, let's go with this. I kind of like where the story's going now. That's interesting. But yeah, besides that, it was a fun ride.
Bada-boom. I'm just happy to hear that it's even slightly decent, because I'm pretty sure this movie was in production hell for like better part of a decade.
Better part. It was in production hell for
like since Pirates 2 came out. I think this has been in
since the Haunted Mansion.
Actually, this was actually something they were working on before even the first Pirates film, because of what they wanted to do, because the Jungle Cruise was one of the opening day attractions to Disneyland. They wanted to start this Disney cinematic universe or whatever with rides that become or films that are inspired by rides, and they wanted to start with the Jungle Cruise. To, in fact, that it was supposed to star Tim Allen and Tom Hanks.
You have said enough. But
yeah,
we've talked. There is room in the world for the Disney Park cinematic universe, and Jungle Cruise would have been the perfect stepping off point, because there are several Disney Sea members associated with the Jungle Cruise.
Yeah.
So,
there's
instead, we got a terrible Country Bear movie that I refuse to acknowledge.
It's not that terrible. It's got Brian Setzer in it.
It's not that terrible, but it ain't great.
It ain't Haunted Mansion bad.
Yeah.
Nothing is Haunted Mansion bad.
Look,
Black Cauldron isn't Haunted Mansion bad. You're welcome.
When I forget which one of my Keys to the Kingdom tours it was. And you could tell this person was blah. They go, "Oh, is this based off the movie?"
No.
The tour guide just stops, turns, and goes, "What movie?"
Yeah! Yeah!
That's awesome.
That is 1999 Horror Nights level of awesome. I'm sorry, but you have to do this. You can sit this one out if you want. What movie? Excellent!
So, have you guys heard about the new? Well, okay. So there's
the rumor.
Well, wait. Which rumor?
Of the new Haunted Mansion. There's rumors of a Tower of Terror remake, which I'm sure are dead, and there's for obvious reasons on that.
Yeah.
And there's rumors. There's also rumors of a new Haunted Mansion remake. Which, to pause for one moment, I would just like to point out, suddenly, miraculously, for no other reason of their own, Disney seems to be stopping the going streaming in theater, and just releasing exclusively in theater now. They announced the Eternals and one other movie will not be coming to Disney Plus. I wonder why. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, no. So actually, the Haunted Mansion rumor is not really a rumor anymore. It's pretty much a done deal. Where is that? Or I just found this.
It may be a done deal, but it could take a decade and a half to get here.
You know what, though? If it's better than the last movie, let's wait a decade and a half.
So, here's...
Yeah, Tiffany Haddish. Tiffany Haddish is in it. So...
Okay.
It's going to be a horror comedy, and I'm just thinking to myself...
It's called a dark comedy. Go on.
Well, it's most likely it's an African-American cast. It's from the writers of it's not Paul Feig, but the same writer who wrote the female Ghostbusters is writing this Haunted Mansion movie.
You know what, though? That wasn't a bad movie. A lot of people hate on that. That really was not a bad movie. It was a missing identity. They didn't know what they wanted to do, and it would have been a good movie, but continue.
There were some parts of the female Ghostbusters movie, or whatever year it came out, 2016 or whatever Ghostbusters to be.
Yeah.
There were parts that were brilliant, but there were parts you're just like, oh, this is bad. Why did we change this? Why are we spending 15 minutes on a Chinese restaurant joke?
Yeah. However, I did like the first, 7-10 opening minutes of that movie, the remake, because those first 10 minutes really made me feel like I was watching a Ghostbusters film.
Not even a remake, it's an offshoot. Well, that's part of the problem. They didn't know if they wanted to be their own thing or constantly pay homage to the past. If they picked one or the other, it would have worked. They picked two different things here. I've said this about other things. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory on Broadway said the same thing. They weren't sure if they wanted to do their own thing or be like the movie. They weren't sure if they wanted to be their own. If they did their own route, that movie would be excellent. Which the rumor is we still haven't seen the last of that. But who knows? That'll depend how Afterlife goes.
I was just gonna say, I don't know about you guys, but when I just saw the new Afterlife trailer, I'm like, yep, this pretty much negates the Paul Feig movie. Like this film.
The problem with the Paul Feig movie is, as Bruce alluded to, was it a remake?
Or
was it a sequel? Was it like
offshoot?
We
are heavy rumors.
And you know what?
Hold on, we cut him off.
We have the answer. We know what it was. It was the multiverse version.
It was the variants.
It was a variant. That's all.
Well, I actually thought maybe this movie is or the Paul Feig Ghostbusters, the female Ghostbusters. It may still actually be in the same continuity because
there are heavy rumors it is.
Well, you remember the post-credit scene in that movie?
Yeah, but that could have just. That's again. Is that something that connects it? Was that just an Easter egg? Was that trying to set up a sequel?
So, I think some of the connection, if they try to do any connection to it, is explaining the fact, and this is purely just going off the little bits we get in the trailers,
right?
Of how most of the world seemed to forget Ghostbusters ever were a thing. And the fact they made no reference to it would be part of that.
Right.
There's heavy rumors that Afterlife is going to lead into another movie that's going to bring the females in, which is going to lead to another movie, which is a culmination of Ghostbusters. That's the rumor. Again, heavy rumor.
Yeah,
no substantial evidence to this.
That talk's been going on for ever since, even before the female Ghostbusters came out. Because there was at one point they were like, "Oh, we're getting Channing Tatum." And it was like Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill was going to be this like 24 Jump Street, but it would be Ghostbusters. But
because we had an actual script for 3, which was actually a pretty good script, that obviously this is going to be nothing like that. It's curious to see. I'm just curious. I can't wait to see where we go with this because, this is one of my favorite movies growing up. So I'm very curious to see how we're going to.
Well, and because Jason Reitman has done tremendous films in the past. Unfortunately, nothing comes to mind except for. Did he do Juno? No. I feel like Jason Reitman. I feel like Jason Reitman is like a Wes Anderson.
You're talking to the wrong duo on that one.
Yeah. Anyway,
I've just watched all these Ghostbusters movies, wondering where the gorilla is.
The gorilla.
Really?
Wait. Am I missing something here?
There's a reason why the cartoon show was called The Real Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Oh! Okay. I was like, wait a minute here. I forgot about that animated series.
Oh, okay, how can you? Fantastic.
I know. I gotta find. I know it's got to be on something or.
It was. DVD. No, it was. There's been a DVD box set. It was streaming someplace. I swear.
Okay.
I forget. Yeah, but as far as that's what the rumor, that's what Disney out of nowhere was like, we're going to stop multi-releases, and who knows, now that the rumors of Twilight, the Tower of Terror, which I'm fine with that project being dead. I didn't like its star. I didn't like the idea. I'm sorry.
What was the idea?
I just don't like the idea of, I didn't like the original movie that much. I don't like that. Of all the attractions, the problem I find, if they did like a high tower thing, that would be okay. But if they do it like they did, the problem is the story tells itself in the tower. That's it. The problem becomes the crux of your ride. Also, I'm just going to say it never existed. So unless you want to have it, I would be okay if they made it an anthology kind of horror. Like I'm talking like a Creepshow style. That I'd be okay with if they did every elevator floor they stop at is a different horror comedy segment.
All I can say is, Bruce, when you said a high tower movie, Oh God, I wanted.
You're
to
picturing
like,
Police Academy, aren't you?
Yeah, that's exact. No.
No. He got you. He got you there for a second.
I was looking at the. Okay. But anyway, where was I going with this? Oh, the high tower. So after watching, all right. Oh God, I don't want to spoil it, but I kind of want to at the same time. Jungle Cruise references the society.
We find you could have figured that one. Shocking.
I know, but the thing is, I mean, yes, they reference Albert Falls and all this stuff, but the society is
I
in.
alluded to it 5 minutes ago.
He did. we knew that. We knew that was going to happen.
Okay.
With more than just Falls. With the fact that we have a TV series coming, and we know Disney likes to keep a continuity, not as real continuity, but Disney likes to keep a reference of things so they keep interest going, which is smart on their part. I'm not knocking that.
Right, because honestly, the way how part of this movie somewhat ended, I thought to myself, okay, that is interesting because the world, this whole Jungle Cruise, I'm gonna call the JCU, the Jungle Cruise universe. I could see them do something with this. They actually have something here. So with the tower, the Tower of Terror, when you said that, I was thinking to myself, I was actually thinking that. I'm thinking, my God, could that be the Tower of Terror movie? Could they actually use something that's connected to this society,
They could they could have ideas that were just, it's just one of those, they tried this. If they did it, I'm fine. But the fact that, because the Tower of Terror has a very concise story that's spoon-fed to you. And we had a terrible, even though it was like the ride, we did have a terrible movie about it. The problem is the crux of the Jungle Cruise with the attraction is riding around. The crux of Tower of Terror is dropping up and down in a friggin' elevator. That's what I mean. If you did that with a creep show style of movie where you did the horror anthology, which is also timely because that's very in right now, I think that could work. But who knows? There's a certain attractions I've always felt could have had movies about them, but
But if we're touching on horror anthologies, there is a ride built for a horror anthology. And that's the Haunted Mansion.
Oh, yeah.
Because you can have a different series about each mansion.
You could also have a different about each inhabitant. Oh, I agree. There's things about that. I don't disagree to that. I'm just theorizing with the Tower of Terror movie per se, is if they're going to go with a Twilight Zone, a theme of that attraction, I think it would work better than having one central story to have an interconnected guests of the hotel kind of thing.
So you're onto something because it can totally be. It could be something like the Bly Manor or the Hill House and all those. Like each season would be a different haunted mansion.
Yeah, and the way I pictured it is not necessarily seasons of a show, but kind of maybe short seasons with long episodes, very Sherlock-esque.
You could do that, or again, why not just have a series of movies with 4 or 5 stories in them?
And let's be honest here. If this was a TV series, there has to be 999 episodes.
They don't
What
get
is this, MASH?
They don't get to dictate that. They don't get to dictate that.
No, they do because they own the streaming service.
Yep.
And who's to say they don't release? They do the 10 episodes and then release 989 one-minute episodes.
Right?
They could. I'm just saying. It's we'll see. We will see. I guess it has to see how the movie goes.
Yeah. I just hope they do it right, which is not an... It's a hard story to tell because the story I think they're going to tell again is people going into the haunted house.
Well,
whereas the story people want to hear is the story behind the house.
Can't you not do both?
You can. I'm just...
I mean, you do. This is how they got in the house. Now that you're here, you could almost have a. Now, obviously, I'm not saying Groundhog Day, but to get out. We have to get out to escape the haunted mansion. We have to understand the haunted mansion to be accepted by the spirits. We have to hear about them and be sympathetic to their plight.
Or like for Phantom Manor, that in itself is a movie. The whole Phantom Manor with the bride and. Was it the Count, her father or whatever is actually the Phantom, and yeah, that could be. Or the cat. What about the captain? The oh god, what's the one character? The one. Oh, I'm throwing a blank right now. He's in the cemetery and
the captain, the sea captain.
Yeah. That was a story at one point. Like
I'm just saying, you could tell. You could again, and it still falls into horror. You could easily do it where they stumble in. Now hear about the stories. Oh, you feel sympathetic? Now we can help you get out of here.
Oh, yeah. Why not do the Haunted Mansion like Tales from the Crypt? That each episode is about a ghost and their past and all that.
That you mean Tales of the Crypt? Also, like Grape Show.
Yeah, yeah. Tales of the Crypt, Creep Show, but like
it's all good. I love my horror. I love Tales of. Don't get, but and the Tales of the Crypt. More. We have the creep who doesn't speak. Tales from the Crypt. The problem with comparing Tales from the Crypt is you have Kassir as the Crypt Keeper, and I mean he's just the best.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Yeah, we have our ghost host. The ghost host can't hold a candle to the Crypt Keeper. There, I said it. I love the Crypt Keeper.
That is very true. And talking about Crypt Keepers, yes, Jason Reitman was Juno. Thank You for Smoking, Up in the Air.
Okay, so I have seen his films.
As writer and director on all of those.
Yeah, so he has done fantastic films. So I think...
Whatever this Princess Bride miniseries shorts is, he did.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
I didn't see him, but that was last year.
Yeah, so I think this film is going to take a lot of rumors, theories, and all that stuff. Like, for example, I don't think Bill Murray's going to be a ghost in this film. I have a prediction that they're going to somehow use Harold Ramis's old footage in this film, like as a ghost apparition, because this film is clearly about his family.
Well, we knew that from the get-go. We knew that
right.
from the initial conception that there's a boy and there's a girl who's kind of weird. That's clearly going to be a relative of Egon. From all they said, we'll you know what though?
Who looks like Egon.
Yeah. Well, remember they first announced it. We didn't really know, just other than But we'll see how it goes. I'm ready. The same way I'm ready for Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings. There's certain movies I'm whatever. I can wait to see, but there's certain movies I can't wait for.
I gotta get a little bit more out of it. I never read the comics, so I'm not familiar with
it. Foob could be on his way. We may get a giant talking dragon. What else is gonna bring you to this? Also, Wong fighting the Abomination. What about this doesn't sound like you want to buy a ticket?
Wait, how's he involved in this?
He's in the trailer. We don't know, and he's clearly fighting Wong. That's all we know.
Did they just come out with a new trailer?
No, this is in the other trailer.
It's all there.
It's been a note thing. In the cage fight, that's the Abomination.
No.
Yes, it is. Look at him. It's the Abomination. I noticed before I saw it on the internet. I was like, "Damn, who's the Abomination-looking character?" Oh, that's cause of Tam. Remember that movie? That movie is still canon.
Yeah,
well,
it is.
It's even more canon now because everything's canon.
Well, just also because we could have the leader still coming. Though they did set up the leader in that. That's still a possibility. Watch She-Hulk for that. Who knows? I'm so excited for that series. The Abomination's also going to be a She-Hulk in case you missed that.
Do we think the real Mandarin's from a different timeline?
I don't care. Which real Mandarin do we? Because now we have two Mandarins. Just letting you know that.
So, wait a minute. So is that the reason how we're doing Shang-Chi, because of the multiverse? That this is a different
I don't know. I think this is going to be because both exist. They've acknowledged the other Mandarin did exist, but we never. The thing is, all we know in that one short with Justin Hammer is that we know the Mandarin exists. We never see the real Mandarin. That could easily be the Mandarin that's going to be in
That's
Shang-Chi.
what I was thinking, because if you watch the one shot,
The one shot.
the Hail to the King or whatever,
Yes.
and spoilers, they kill off Ben Kingsley. So
they kill off Ben Kingsley.
Spoiling something that's like 8 years old.
Yeah, they kill off Ben Kingsley because
hasn't seen these one shots to know what we're talking about.
Basically, they kill the fake Mandarin because the real Mandarin's pissed for what he did.
That's what I'm saying. So that's why I was like, okay, I wonder if this is actually the real Mandarin. And I don't think this has anything to do with it, but I cannot wait. Do you guys hear Kingpin's coming from Daredevil?
Yeah, baby! I love Wilson Fisk. I love Fisk.
Did you guys hear about this?
I didn't see anything about this.
No.
There has been heavy rumor that he's going to be in the new Spider-Man movie.
Well, of course. I mean, that doesn't surprise me. Remember, Charlie Cox is not just rumor. Charlie Cox is confirmed to make an appearance. Also, people forget, now that we're doing a multiverse, a lot of these villains, that's the thing, because for now, we've kind of had them separated into their own universes that sometimes intermingle. Right. They intermix a lot. Kingpin has Daredevil. He does go to toe to Spider-Man a whole lot. He's involved with the Fantastic Four. We have a lot of crossover. That a lot of these villains, all exist in one universe in the comics. So it makes sense now that we're having the ability to have these all out there. It would make sense to bridge the gap. I thought he did such a good job in the series. I thought he did such a good job as Fisk.
Oh my God, he was perfect to the point where there's okay. So I'm trying to connect the dots here, but I can't connect there's something missing. But the latest rumors are that with Julie Louis-Dreyfus from Loki, she's
making from Winter Soldier, she's making the Dark Avengers, possibly something else, which is along the same line.
They're allegedly saying that she's working for Fisk. I'm trying to connect the dots here. I'm trying to figure out how that's possible.
Well, remember, it's very possible she's in Fisk's pocket. It's not impossible for Fisk to be running the Dark Avengers. They've had other shadow leaders before, and when the Kingpin is concerned, anything's possible. But because also, it's not. Again, he has all sorts of ties that people forget about. That's why I would not be surprised at all if he's really behind it.
They're saying it because what they're doing is they're trying to fall back to the first Avengers film with the destruction of New York City. So Kingpin has the funds from certain companies like Oscorp and possibly with Thunderbolt Ross with the military to come up with their Dark Avengers.
Remember, we still haven't seen him as Red Hulk, but that doesn't mean he isn't going to be Red Hulk still.
Right.
We still got She-Hulk coming, which I personally think She-Hulk is bringing in Jessica Jones.
Actually,
they're all coming except Iron Fist.
Yeah. Thank God.
Well, Iron Fist will come, not
that Iron Fist.
The Danny Rand we got is not the Danny Rand we deserved. And I love that the show kept telling us that. He's a terrible Iron Fist.
The only way that Danny comes back is that he makes some sort of cameo fight thing with Shang-Chi. That's the only way.
But even after that, there's ways he can come back easily. Iron Fist could be around. We just haven't. Again, now that we have this, Iron Fist, all of them can easily come back. I'm expecting Cage to be involved with the Dark Avengers because he's led the Thunderbolts before. Because Dark Avengers could be a precursor to Thunderbolts. It could be Thunderbolts, and we're calling it the Dark Avengers. It's just Thunderbolts. There's all sorts of things that could go here. I love that.
And not to mention, Disney Plus said they're going to start streaming a new series called The Punisher, starring John Bernthal. So
Anything's possible.
I don't want Disney Plus to stream it. I want Hulu to stream it.
Well,
Just
maybe
do the R
Hulu.
rating.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I mean, Disney does own Hulu now, so
It's hard to say what they're gonna do. I'm curious. It's also, listen, we got a Blade movie coming. We have Moon Knight coming, which those could be more R-rated things, like The Punisher. Those have the ability. We'll see how it goes. I know personally. Now we're getting to the Disney shows I've been most excited for. What If, She-Hulk, Ms. Marvel,
Yes.
Jersey baby.
and they officially said that What If is actually canon. Well, then
Everything's canon. We're in the
everything's
multiverse.
Well, they're confirming that it is a multiversal show that we're seeing.
Yeah.
Now that, like, all the rumors I'm sure you guys have seen is that, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen Loki, we had an episode about this, so I'm just going to spoiler alert. Now that they said that Kang 100% did create the Infinity War and everything, he was behind all of that, is that everything, also, I'm sure you guys saw this, is at the same time Kang says that, the timestamp that Kang says basically everything's dropped in the multiverse, is the same time in WandaVision that she becomes the Scarlet Witch. I'm like, that is dedication right there.
Yeah.
Hey, plus to that. But I'm excited to see. But those are the two series I've been most excited for. I love She-Hulk. I've always have. I'm just very excited to her to come in the fold. Ms. Marvel is going to be great. Moon Knight. It's about time we get some of him involved.
You know what's interesting about She-Hulk? So Mark Ruffalo is going to be in the series.
Gee, I wonder why.
But only as Bruce Banner. He's not allowed to play Hulk.
Well, because that's her backstory. He's going to be in the first episode. She's going to have the accident. She gets the transfusion from her cousin. That's how she becomes She-Hulk in the comics. It's all right there, kids.
Well, he's in there more than just one episode, though. He apparently makes a few.
Yeah, he has to help her. He probably has to help her learn to control everything. Remember, it also makes sense. Unlike Bruce Banner, who we've seen now can do Professor Hulk, unlike that, She-Hulk from almost near the get-go in the comics and everything has always been much more controllable as both Sarah and She-Hulk.
But correct me if I'm wrong, though. At the end of Infinity War, Endgame, did Bruce Banner ever go back to Professor Hulk, or was he always Professor Hulk in that movie?
Always Professor Hulk.
But they easily could retcon that.
Well, also, we're not saying where this appears in the timeline.
Thank you.
Well, wait, hold on. What if this Mark Ruffalo is not the Mark Ruffalo we've seen before? What if
it could be?
He could be a variant. What if this Bruce Banner doesn't actually have the gamma radiation?
That's the thing. Well, first off, he has to have the gamma radiation. Again,
does he though?
Yes, he does. That's how She-Hulk gets her powers.
I know, but I'm just saying because of the multiverse.
Look, Hulk is already the first friggin' variant we've dealt with.
That's enough. One, we don't know that they're actually going to be the variants. We'll see how that goes, how the canon name is going to be. Also, even though we have variants, to have variants at their core, they're the same thing. Loki, that's kind of what makes them variants. Because if he didn't have gamma radiation, he's not a variant of the Hulk. He's just Bruce Banner.
I've just been making a reference to the actor changes for the Hulk.
Yes. Yeah, I'm aware of what you were doing. I'm here for it, and I'm on board with it. Don't get me. But by the Abomination existing, we're going to be, because that's a main MCU movie. It's very interesting to tell how that's going to go. That would lead me to believe that any variant would be something else outside of it. It could easily be that this She-Hulk series is a variant. That is possible, but it's not possible, especially if how they're going to do it is going to play. Again, they like to vary from the comics, which I'm perfectly okay with. It would make sense for sure to get the whole point is that she gets a blood transfusion from him. The blood transfusion has the gamma radiation in it. They don't have to do that. It could be she's already had that, and we see him only as that because he's in areas knowing I can't turn to the Hulk right now. Even though and again, Dozer touched on that perfectly. we don't know when this takes place. This could
Right.
take place after that first Incredible Hulk movie when he's still in friggin' hiding.
True.
And I'm just sitting here making up my own dream shows, wanting a team up between all 4 Punisher actors.
Oh.
I'd be okay with that, even though our one Mr. Bumpo is no longer with us.
Come on, Dolph Lundgren.
That movie's so terrible. And yes, Mr. Bumpo.
And can we throw in Hasselhoff as Nick Fury in there just for that little tease?
Yes. David Hasselhoff. Of course we can.
Wait, does that mean, all right, could this also mean because of the multiverse, can we see Hasselhoff return as Nick Fury?
Yes.
Because he has been in Guardians of the Galaxy.
And remember, anything's possible right now. It all depends if they want to do it. This is how, again, the multiverse, we also focus too much on the multiverse being about existing characters. The multiverse is also the easiest way to bring in the other characters. It just is. There's been rumors that Kang, going forward, will not be conquering alone. Doom! It's about time that he gets his due, if you will. Overlooked! Overlooked, I say!
While I know we're focusing too much on existing characters, I'm just enjoying a world that now all the shitty Fantastic Four movies are canon.
Yep.
The Marvel team with the history of the most shitty movies.
And also, not just that with the Fantastic Four, that also means Galactus can appear in regular giant person-manating form and cloud form. Galactus can go to be the first Marvel villain to go cloud.
We already had the smoke monster. We already had our lost moment.
But Alien is still more animal-looking than, well, the cloud that didn't kind of look like Galactus' face in the middle, but that's up for debate.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't watched many Fantastic Four movies.
I really, honestly,
I
I'm such a Doctor Doom fan. I can't help it.
I saw the first one and I was like, okay, this is fun, but I never saw the Silver Surfer.
Silver Surfer's really not that, honestly, it's not great. It's not as terrible as everyone likes to make it out to be. It's just not a great movie. The remake was terrible. Or I don't want to say the remake, whatever you want to call that, was truly awful, only because we already know who they are. Why do we need another story, but we know who they are? Spider-Man finally got that with Tom Holland. We don't have to introduce him. They freaking know who they are. I'm looking at you, Dawn of Justice. I did not need a Batman origin scene. I know who Batman is.
Do I just need to point out, when I talk their long history of shitty films, there's also Fantastic Four, 1994.
I'm aware they have a long history of bad films.
I forgot about that.
No, I didn't forget. I was purposely not acknowledging. So if someone called me out, I didn't forget. I'm just not going to acknowledge it.
We have to make a movie every so many years. Quick, squirt one out.
It's just like there's a certain franchise I love, Halloween. There's a certain 2 movies that exist I will never acknowledge until I die. 3 movies, I should say.
So you will will state you acknowledge them on your death?
Yes, as I die, I will acknowledge them. But until then, no!
Bruce's last words are seasons.
Actually, no, last words are going to be, screw you, Rob Zombie. I had to watch them. Screw you.
No, I thought it was going to be Red Rum.
Oh.
No. Oh, I do not like that movie, and you know I don't. Unpopular opinion.
It's been years since I saw it. In fact, I think I watched it on Laserdisc.
You know how I do? I read the book, and that ended everything. I should never have read the book.
Have you guys watched Dr. Sleep?
No. Again, 2 different. I've read the book. It's 2 different from the book.
I know. The book was good. The movie was interesting.
The movie had to be different. The books ended differently, for Christ's sake. It had to be different because the Overlook Hotel isn't destroyed.
Right,
Spoiler alert, in the book, the Overlook goes down. Danny dies with it because him and the Overlook are connected like that. There's your spoiler. If you've never read the book, what's wrong with you? Read it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And I'm still just saying, I really hope we have a moment of mistaken identity in a Marvel film where somebody goes, "Cap, you're back! Who the hell's Cap? I'm Johnny Storm!"
That would be excellent.
Oh, that would be fun.
That would be excellent. Johnny, what's wrong with you? Also, they announced slightly in all seasons, almost announcing that there's going to be more seasons of What If. Just they haven't announced yet. They said in all seasons of What If, Captain Britain will be involved.
Well, yeah, that's Peggy Carter.
I'm aware, but they announced that in multiple seasons. Like, you haven't announced a season 2 yet. What do you know that we don't know? Also, Can I just get Haley Atwell in the outfit in a live-action movie just once?
Can I also get the West Coast Avengers in What If?
I want the West Coast Avengers. I want the Great Lake Avengers. Bertha, baby!
Wait, didn't they also... Wait, they sort of teased, though. I feel like, was it in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2? There was a scene that was deleted, but Nathan Fillion was supposed to be playing... Was it Starman? He pretty much is like Captain America of the West Coast, though, of California. But they kind of made him... I think the Suicide Squad with James Gunn kind of like... destroyed the idea of doing the West Coast Avengers.
But they didn't. Those are two different things, and frankly, so I'm glad this is coming out. I can't wait to see it. This is the Suicide Squad movie we as fans deserve, not the movie we got. This is going to be it. The fact that he literally said, "Who's the stupidest villain?" Googled, got Polka Dot Man, and said, "I'm putting Polka Dot Man into my film." I love you, James Gunn.
I know.
But that I don't think that, honestly, that has no bearings on anything because Suicide Squad is more integral than, well, I hate to say it, than the West Coast Avengers or even the Great Lake Avengers are. Those are all integral, but those don't become into play really until, again, Thunderbolts are much more integral, Defenders, until we get the X-Men back into the fold. That's what really determines everything. There's a lot of... People forget how integral the X-Men are into everything.
Yeah, I remember there was one issue where Peter couldn't control his abilities, so he actually had to go to the school for the gifted, and he became like one of the X-Men for a few issues.
A lot of superhero teams have X-Men in them that are actual X-Men or mutants or what have you. Again, it's all going to come together. I truly do trust what Marvel does here. I trust them wholeheartedly.
I like how all this works so that we can forget things. Like, Adam Warlock is out here.
Adam Warlock has been here the whole time. It should have ended in Infinity War. But that's another point altogether. I love that. Honestly, I also do love that we haven't seen Warlock yet because you know it's going to be used well when he finally makes his appearance.
Who do they announce who's playing him?
Hell no. All we know is that we've seen the Cocoon twice, and once was an accident.
He's probably going to be like CGI, like Dr. Manhattan.
No, I don't think so. I think we're going to have somebody I mean, really looks-wise, he's more closer to Doctor Strange than Dr. Manhattan. He's just like some giant glowing thing with the you know. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see where they go with it. Also, it'll be interesting to see then how it all gets integrated eventually into the parks, possibly.
Well, and I don't know if you guys heard this or not, but there's been heavy rumors that Hugh Jackman might be coming back.
To what?
Wolverine.
Ha! 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 No way. Until I hear it from the man's mouth or it's announced, I won't believe it.
Well, there was a tweet that he posted. And apparently,
well, he's getting ready for the Music Man. Continue.
Well, no, because he was standing next to Kevin Feige. And there's been, I guess, like heavy talks and rumors of negotiations where it's not as a starring role, more so in the sense of a cameo.
That's a cameo. That's where I just. That's just a cameo. Cameos are usually 1 or 2 off appearance. That's nothing. And roll's a roll. If he appears as a cameo, that's as much as him saying, "Hey, Bob," and disappearing.
Well, yeah,
Because
I
also
guess.
remember, he basically said the timing's not there. He can't do that. He doesn't want to, and naturally he can't. He don't want to do that anymore. He doesn't want to do the diet to stay like that.
Yeah, true.
Also, I'm sorry. I'm happy with him not being in it. I saw Logan. We all saw what happened.
Yeah.
I was there. It was emotional. I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
We needed Wolverine, frankly. I'll be honest. I know he wouldn't do the stuff it takes. Keith Urban would be a fantastic Wolverine.
Really? Keith Urban.
Billy Butcher can do it. Shut up. You've watched The Boys, haven't you?
Yeah.
Are we talking Carl Urban, not
Maybe I'm talking
Keith
to-
Urban?
I-
Keith
exactly,
Urban's a
Keith-
country singer.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's what-
Carl.
that's what-
Carl, thank you.
that's what
Sorry.
I'm saying.
I
When
had
you
it
said-
backwards.
When you said Keith Urban, I'm like, wait, what?
No,
And you're like,
no,
the
no,
Bulls.
Carl
I'm like,
Urban.
Carl
Oh my
Urban.
God, I forgot. Honestly, I thought Carl Urban was the country singer for a minute. That's why
No.
now I'm like, is it Carl or Carol? I'm like, no. Carl's got to be the country singer. Thank you. No, Carl Urban.
Yes, I know Carl Urban. He was Bones in Star Trek.
Billy Butcher and the Boys. Billy Butcher.
Yes, yeah.
Billy Butcher, you know, thank you. Carl Urban, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
If Rex sees this, I'm sorry, Carl. Carl and Keith, I did not mean to mix you up.
But there's a problem. That's more dual casting. He was Scourge.
Oh my God, I forgot.
I have a suggestion on a new Wolverine. It's it's a stretch, but Andrew Lincoln.
I'm okay with it. Almost, honestly, I gotta tell you, I'd almost rather them start asking no names, because I'd rather see a no name do well and get promoted and build something than having household names are hard, which we're seeing. And frankly, let's be honest. Again, I'd not to bring it up again. Elephant in the room. Because of a certain legal issue going on between a certain star and a certain company, that could change things here, how they go forward with who I'm just going to say it, the star. I'm like other people. I don't think the star's as good as they think they are.
Well, I mean, it's in the news for listeners tuning in. You're talking about Black Widow, right?
I'm talking about Black Widow and Scarlett Johansson, and I'm just going to admit it. I don't think Scarlett Johansson's that great at Black Widow. I don't like what they've done with the character. I don't like retconning the Russian accent. I don't like any of it.
Well,
I just don't think she's that great of an actress. I don't get why everyone has this like hard on for her.
You know why they all have a hard on for her.
I don't. I really don't. Her acting ability, not physically. Whatever. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. Get your man out of the gutters, pervs!
You're the one who used the term hard on.
Yeah, I can't help it. That's actually a term I use on a regular basis. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and I'll say this much about the movie Black Widow. I mean, it wasn't bad, but there was no need for this film. No
Again,
need.
this was a product of keeping a potential star happy, and frankly, who cares?
Well, yeah.
Now that they've announced that we can basically get rid of Black Widow altogether and have an actual Russian-speaking one multiverse. I'm okay with this.
Not only that too, but she did actually die in Endgame. I mean,
we have all sorts of Black Widows that could be coming out, but it's one of those. Again, I'm not commenting anything further than that, but.
Well, the movie did set up the Hawkeye TV series. That was the post credit. The post credit, Julie.
I know. I heard.
Yeah. Okay.
I've heard. I've read. I'll see it when it's included. I'm not paying money for it, especially now. And frankly, again, they're setting up a Hawkeye series. Like I'm sure I like Loki more than I thought, but again, they're setting up series I don't give a blip about.
Well, Hawkeye's setting up Young Avengers because it's mostly his daughter.
The only thing that matters about Hawkeye is the fact that for some reason in everything he's in, Hawkeye is a surprisingly amazing character.
They've written him very. Jeremy Renner's a good. I'm okay with, and Young Avengers I'm okay with. It's just the overall idea of that series is meh.
Yeah. I mean, if Hawkeye was maybe like a one-off, or maybe like 2 or 3 episodes, or even better yet, like Falcon and the Winter Soldier, there was like what, 5 episodes? That was it.
No,
like,
I think that was a full 6.
Was it just 6? Okay.
Most of them are 6. Most of the shows they've been doing have been 6 episodes.
WandaVision was like 9 or 10.
Again, Loki and WandaVision lined up. Again, like I said before, they perfectly lined up. When she becomes the Scarlet Witch, lines up perfectly with the end of Loki. Like, to the second, apparently.
Interesting.
Yeah, no, they were
9 episodes. No, WandaVision was 9 episodes.
Was it?
Yep.
Oh.
Half-hour episodes, though. It had the shortest episodes of all of them.
Oh, that was it.
Plus, it's only within. It's the timestamp within that final episode.
Correct.
Not the series as a whole.
I apologize, I'm wrong, but still, my point remains valid. I don't really see the point of the Hawkeye series. It's like, listen, I'm sure it's gonna be good. I'm sure they're gonna do well of it. I just personally, again, you're building series on people I don't care about. Loki, right. I don't care. You're Black Widow. You're writing movies and shit about. I don't care.
Well, the Loki one, I actually thought of this would be because of how Endgame ended his character by taking the Tesseract. Because when that moment happened, I was like, oh, what's going to happen now?
Just the opposite. Well, to me, it was just the opposite. That only reason that scene existed was because they knew they had to do Loki and bring him back.
Okay. That makes sense.
I saw it and went, haha. So that's how you're bringing him back. Cute, clever. I get it.
Okay. I didn't think of that when I was watching it because I was like, oh, that's cool.
Oh, no, I saw it and I went, oh, TV show.
We already knew Loki existed at this point.
That's true, yeah, because we knew the TV show was happening at the time. We just didn't know how they were going to start the show.
Correct.
And then that okay, you're right, yeah.
Correct. But that's, again, Marvel has pleasantly surprised me as we went. It's literally all thought out. That's why I'm sure you heard he had a meeting after the end of Loki and said, here's how we're doing the multiverse. This is the rules.
Right.
It's one of my favorite phases with theater and anything, any media I consume. You don't have to follow rules. Just have to follow your own.
Right.
It just makes me think of the stories from when they were filming and casting WandaVision, where more or less they just went, who can we have? And they were handed a list of just about every Marvel character.
Right.
And that's why we got Darcy back in an amazing role.
Yeah.
I love her. I can't wait. We're definitely going to see more of her, I'm sure. But just like there's the one when they did MODOK, when the Patton Oswalt, they said, who can't we have? And they were gifted Iron Man, but told there were minor villains they couldn't possibly have touched.
Have you guys watched that show yet?
Of course I have.
Is it out?
Yeah.
I haven't
MODOK?
watched it. Yeah, is it good?
You watch MODOK? Oh, honestly, it's irreverent. It's over the top. It's not realistic in any fashion. I'm just going to say one word. There's one character that makes an appearance. If you're a Marvel fan, this should pique your interest a little bit. There's an episode that features Arcade.
Yeah.
Murder World, baby! So it's honestly, it's so over the top. It's so different. It's so over the top. Can't wait for season 2 to see how they go. This is a more if you have Hulu, because that's where it is.
Yeah.
They have a stop motion show Crossing Swords on there. It's more along that line of irreverent comedy that's just very over. This is not MODOK in the way you see him portrayed in everything.
Right.
Else.
It's taking
super comical. Super over the top. It's frankly, it's the only way MODOK could have been done besides like they did the Avengers game. or he was the villain.
Right.
I'm sorry, Talent borrows, genius steals. You're seeing the villain slowly become the villain, just like they did in Spider-Man and Dr. Octopus. Just saying, come on, guys.
Yeah.
I see what you did here. Come on. Anyway, I digress. But because they're taking a villain who it's kind of hard to take him seriously.
Right.
And even though he's a very serious villain, MODOK is a bad mamma jamma. But they've
Right.
taken it over the top. Honestly, it really is just a lot of fun.
Is Kevin Smith still working on Howard the Duck for Hulu? Was it Howard the Duck? Because I know they were trying to do, so it was going to be
the next Howard the Duck appearance I know of is in What If. That's it. I don't really know of anything with Howard the Duck.
So they may have scrapped it then because so you had Netflix's Defenders, right? You had the Defenders on Netflix. Yeah. Then you had Disney Plus with like all the Avengers films. Hulu was going to have the Offenders. And it was going to have MODOK, Howard the Duck, and then there was two more. And they would all have their own have their own series, but then eventually they would all come together as the Offenders.
See, the only problem I have there with Howard the Duck is because we've seen him in the MCU twice now.
Right.
It was just that, but where MODOK we haven't seen yet. AIM has been involved, but MODOK himself has not.
Right.
Because mainly, I'm sorry, he's a floating. Yeah, I know he has a body. He's still a floating head.
Time out. What about in the Incredible Hulk film with Edward Norton with Mr.
You missed it. I said it before. That was the leader. That was not. He's not AIM. That's not MODOK.
Okay.
No, that's not MODOK at all. I'm blanking on MODOK's actual name. No, he's the leader. Is the villain they were doing. I know you saw his head growing.
Right.
Head gigantic, rest of the body normal. Giant. But like when I say that, it's not like his head isn't big enough to float in a floating chair. It's like bulbous.
Right. And the thing is, like, let's be like, okay, so the character MODOK in Hulu is clearly the MODOK we know growing up from the comic books and the cartoons and all that stuff. But who's to say, like
you see him, you see naked MODOK. Good luck.
What?
You have been warned. You're gonna see more of MODOK than you ever want to see in life. Oh, it's funny. No. You have been warned. There's MODOK like you would not believe.
Oh God. Are they half an hour long episodes or are they hour long? Okay.
Half an hour goes down fast. It was a really fun show. If you haven't watched it. Again, it's but it's a more mature show. Think of a more Rick and Morty show.
I was just gonna ask, is it like Rick and Morty?
It's not like Rick and Morty, but it's got a more adult humor than that.
Okay, all right. Because I love Patton Oswalt. Like
honestly, Patton is at his best here, and he helped create it. You know, if you like Patton Oswalt, you know what he's about. The whole casting, they have the guy who voiced Sonic in the movie, I forget. He plays MODOK's son. Melissa, what's her face from Brooklyn Nine-Nine? She plays MODOK's daughter, who looks more like MODOK, is in the chair and everything. It was just it's a very funny show, over the top. It's an irreverent, more adult comedy. I would not have like your 10-year-old watch this unless you would have some fun conversations.
Well,
I feel bad. We are boring the heck out of Dozer over there.
No, Dozer's working.
Yes!
Dozer for the win, baby!
Dozer was sitting here trying to see if he could confirm.
I heard a lot of clicking. I knew what you were doing. I knew exactly
if they have a list of directors for What If episodes. And if potentially Kevin Smith was directing the Howard the Duck episode, and that's where there's no list of directors. There's a list of actors, no directors.
Did you happen to just Google Kevin Smith, Howard the Duck? Because I think that would get our answer. Listen, you know what, though? Unless he's contractually obligated, I follow Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith with no problem announcing anything.
Well, and not only that, too. I mean, he actually kept the He-Man deal very hush-hush for a while.
That's what I mean, though. If he knows to, Kevin Smith can keep his mouth shut. He's been in the business long enough. He's done plenty. And frankly, he's a little preoccupied right now, in case you didn't see Table Read Clerks 3.
Clerks 3! Did you see his recent post with the lemonade stand?
Mm-hmm.
That's so cute.
I'm a big Kevin Smith fan for obvious reasons.
It was canceled.
Okay, I figured because I'm sure he had a lot of like negotiations and ideas and plans with different companies because of course like He-Man was on the table and
this could have been before What If even because we know Howard Duck's involved there. Who knows? They might have just said, "Listen, we're going forward with MODOK. MODOK is getting a season 2, I believe, because it needs it."
Right.
Spoiler alert: cliffhanger.
All I can read coming from this, and I'm just skimming it, is the Howard the Duck series involved him getting the Darkhold.
Okay.
I am now sad that doesn't exist. That right there sounds like quality entertainment. And remember, we have a movie coming, which I'm not counting out anybody from appearing in Multiverse of Madness, including Howard the Duck.
Well, he is officially an Avenger, so.
I'm just saying, how do you know Howard the Duck isn't? I know Seth Green has voiced him before. Still, we have to have Bruce Campbell somewhere. We know Bruce Campbell's going to be in it, and frankly, I think Bruce Campbell would be an amazing Howard the Duck.
Seth Green is the one listed for What If, so I'm pretty sure he's going to be the canon Howard the Duck.
Unless it's a variant. Not to sound like the two of you, but I'm bringing up the variants now.
Was Bruce Campbell the original Howard from the old?
No, actually, it was. Fun fact: I read this week. It was originally Robin Williams.
No,
Robin Williams. Here's the thing: they filmed the movie, then were doing the Howard voice. Apparently, it drove Robin Williams insane because Robin Williams liked to go off script. The problem was he had to match the movement of the duckbill. Robin Williams. It's like Thanksgiving. Robin Williams quits. Chip Zen, however you say his name, Chip Zen gets a phone call and says, "You are Howard the Duck. There's a ticket waiting at the airport. Get on the plane. You are going to film now." It's like Thanksgiving. He has to hang up the phone and run to the airport. And Chip Zen was the Howard the Duck.
Wow.
Which I would love for him to make an appearance. I'm just sorry. I'm obviously a Broadway fan. Chip Zen, the Baker. Oh, that would be cool for him to come back as Howard. But I do agree, Howard looks to be... Yeah, Bruce Campbell was not involved in any of that. It's only rumor Bruce Campbell's ain't going to be Multiverse of Madness, but it's not a stretch to think that Sam is going to have his best buddy involved.
Oh, you know Bruce Campbell. Sam's going to have his brother in it, too.
His brother, and I'm fine with that. It's still, I said this before on the show, I'll say it again. He has said he will never appear as Ash again. But that's about Evil Dead movies. He did not clarify if he's not willing to appear as Ash in a Marvel movie. And since we have comic basis of Marvel Zombies versus Army of Darkness, it is still possible Bruce Campbell's going to be wielding the chainsaw in Multiverse of Madness. I'm not saying he is. I'm just saying it's possible. And if Bruce Campbell's there, you know I'm there.
Oh, I know. I still like the Bubba Hotep idea. I'm just...
So again, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with him literally playing himself. He can just appear as Bruce Campbell, and I'm okay with that.
Or it could be even like he could play as like what Dozer had the idea of, like you turn around and it's like Chris Evans, like, oh no, I'm actually Johnny Storm, not Steve Rogers. But like, what if like Bruce Campbell is like an alternate Steve Rogers from the multiverse, or
actually,
like another?
Dozer, I think, mentioned something the last time that made sense. What if he's a fake? He's a variant Doctor Strange.
There you go.
There's all sorts. Frankly, there's a million ways you can use him. It just depends on what Sam and Bruce decide. All I know is we wouldn't have a Spider-Man without Bruce Campbell in the movies. So I am okay with it. I know he's going to be in. I'm actually... Multiverse of Madness is one of my most looked forward to movies. I love Doctor Strange. I love Sam Raimi. This is a marriage in heaven for a fan. This gonna be good.
Yeah, and I'm glad they actually hired Sam Raimi to direct Multiverse of Madness. Like it's kind of like a nice
It was smart. Honestly, it's smart cast. It's a smart not casting up because it's a smart choice because let's face it. Sam Raimi thinks out of the box, and he does it well.
Well, I don't even remember who directed the first one. I can't even know. I don't even
I
know.
couldn't tell you. Not that they have Sam Raimi. I don't know directors like you. Certainly, you would know better than you. You're more the cinemaphile than I am. But when it comes to things like this, I know who I like, and I love me some Sam Raimi.
Oh, who doesn't? I mean,
Drag Me to Hell, Quick and the Dead.
That's like so. I've been. What's up?
Go on. I'm just filling in stuff from earlier. So.
Well, no, like I just came. This is like going way off the rails here, but like there was a pop-up.
By the way, before you continue, we're at an hour and 24 minutes. Rails, where we're going, we don't need rails.
So apparently there was this film called House of Gucci that's coming out, directed by Ridley Scott, about the Gucci family. That pretty much I don't know, like if you guys saw the trailer for it or not, but it's I guess the story of the Gucci, the woman that married into Gucci's family who allegedly killed her husband and served like 30-some years in jail or something like that.
Amityville Horror says what?
What's up?
Said Amityville Horror says what?
Right. So here's the cat. Here's the cast. So the Lady Gucci, the one who had hired a hitman to kill her husband, is played by Lady Gaga. Her ex-husband's played by Adam Driver. You also have Al Pacino.
Ooh, I like Al Pacino.
Jared Leto.
You know, unfortunately, you missed. You had one hit name and a bunch of misses.
Well, but still, it's like, but you watch the trailer though. I'm watching this and going, this doesn't feel like a film. This feels like FX presents, American Crime Story.
FX presents.
Like that's how I watched the trailer. I was like, oh, is this an American Crime Story? Because it's like the House of Gucci. I'm like, well, it's got Lady Gaga, so I assumed it was FX. She did all the American Horror Stories and all those crime,
She did one season of American Horror Story. Relax.
No, she actually did. She did, what was it, the Roanoke? And she also was in
What was she in Roanoke? She was in Hotel.
She was there was this one scene, it was a small cameo, but there was this, I guess, satanic ritual of someone having sex out in the field.
You're making me Google shit.
Yeah, she was in the Roanoke episode. She was this like witch priestess or whatever that was in this like hellfire circle having sex.
Listen, I believe you. That's fine. But honestly, Hotel was one of the worst seasons. Yes,
yeah,
I said it. I hated Hotel. Other people love it. I hated it, and she was bad. And I'm sorry, I've never seen A Star Is Born because I don't need to. Because you know why? I don't trust her acting ability. I'm not commenting on you as a performer. I'm not commenting as an individual. Your acting is bad. You should feel bad. That's how I see it.
She is credited with Roanoke.
Boom!
I didn't recognize her, so that's probably a good thing. I actually liked Roanoke as we went. I was surprised. I did not like Hotel at all.
She is... God damn it.
She's person who gets killed.
No!
She's a cameo.
She has a named character.
And
again,
what,
person that
Roanoke?
gets killed.
Yes.
What's her character's name in Roanoke?
Not the book.
You have to excuse me, it's Celtic.
So is Ashleen?
S-T-A-T-H-A-C-H.
You can't do that while I'm drinking, dude. And that's how Bruce shorted out his computer.
Oh my god, that was so funny, Steve. Excuse me, it's Celtic.
Excuse me, it's Celtic.
I'm not drunk enough to speak Celtic. I'm sober.
I can say one thing in Celtic, and it's Ashleen. I think it's like Asiling or something like that.
But
I had a friend who worked with me at Disney. Ashleen, if Ashleen happens to be watching this, mwah, love you, girl.
To cover on some previously announced topics, back in 2019, What If was announced to have 2 seasons by Kevin Feige.
Okay, I didn't know that. Okay.
It'll be 10 episodes long.
Okay.
For the first season. Probably 10 episodes for the second season. And some of the questions that will be answered. What if T'Challa became Star-Lord?
Mm-hmm.
What if Black Widow was the survivor of the apocalyptic event caused by Ultron? What if Spider-Man
Wait. Go back to that one. What if Black Widow
was the survivor of an apocalyptic event caused by Ultron?
So basically saying Age of Ultron, like the thing with Sokovia. So she's the only survivor out of all the Avengers, out of everyone
It just
there.
says, yeah.
You're looking too into it in this. I remember, what if Ultron could have lived way before, longer than that?
They could have stopped that, but one Ultron survived. Remember,
True.
they said...
But here again, Bruce, why Black Widow?
I agree. You know what, though? At least if she speaks, can she speak with the Russian accent? If it's a different Romanov, I'm okay with that. But why this Black Widow? Why? What is wrong with everything?
That's what I want to know. Why does it have to be Black Widow? The Ultron apocalypse, I could care less, but why does it have to be the Black Widow character? Why couldn't it be the Scarlet Witch?
So, what if Spider-Man was a cloaked zombie hunter?
Oh, that's badass. I like that.
What if
he's Kraven?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if Stephen Strange became the Dark Doctor Strange Supreme?
Ooh.
Ooh, that sounds good.
That sounds like an item from Taco Bell. The Dark Doctor Strange Supreme.
The Dark Doctor Supreme. Oh my God! Can I have 10 tacos and the Dark Doctor Supreme?
Hey, you know what's wait, time out. You know what's crazy? If Disney is listening to this right now, they are already calling Taco Bell to partner up to do a sponsorship for Doctor Strange.
Who else throws Supreme randomly after menu items?
It's like the whole Blockbuster cameo in Captain Marvel in the next Multiverse of Madness. We're gonna see Doctor Strange eating at a Taco Bell.
I'm sorry, I can't.
That's where we get Bruce Campbell. He's the cashier at the Taco Bell.
I'm sorry. Is anyone actually watching us at this point?
It says one.
Whoever's watching us, thank you for sticking with us, and God bless you. We love you. I am so happy you're here. I am stunned. We have gone, this is official. We have gone off the rails. We are having fun while we do it, though. Oh, my.
Yeah, I'm just sitting here doodling and reading random shit, coming to different places and Googling Lady Gaga.
Wow, for a Disney podcast, we do a lot that's not Disney.
The problem is Disney owns everything in some way, shape, or form.
They do, but it's funny how much I love it. I shouldn't be saying that. We comment on a lot Disney, but considering we're about the world, Disney World, we have got off. I'm sure there's people who go like, okay, I'm gonna watch, but they probably are drinking game out there. Let's see how many times they go off Disney in the first 20 minutes.
It's like if you ever buy like a Monopoly game, but the game is actually called Disneyopoly. Here's how real like Disney owns everything, right? So you buy a Disneyopoly game, you open the box up. There's no Monopoly board. It just says "We own your ass."
I'm just gonna say this. I'm just gonna say something here that needs to be said. Do you know what one of my favorite Disney movies of all time is? That technically at the time you could actually say was a Disney movie. Scream. Scream was a Disney movie because of who owned the studio. Miramax at the time was owned by Disney. Therefore, Ghostface is a Disney villain. You're welcome.
Wait, so does that also mean that Dogma, Chasing Amy, Clerks, Mallrats are all Disney films? Because that was
depends,
all.
Like even honestly, with Fox, for one moment in time, for one brief moment in time, Killer Clowns is owned by Disney. Alien is owned by Disney. There's all sorts of things that are now owned by Disney that technically are these Disney movies. There's a lot of debate here.
I am just going to state the prophecy finally came true. Everybody who said Anastasia is a Disney princess, congratulations.
She is now in
She's finally a princess owned by Disney.
She is, because that was 20
So what you're saying is, have you heard there's a rumor in St. Petersburg? Have you heard what they're saying on the street? Really? That's from Anastasia, you guys. Come on.
I've never actually seen
There's
it.
a rumor in St. Petersburg. Yeah, there's a from Anastasia.
I haven't seen that musical in a long time.
Have you heard?
Music.
Have you heard?
The bird is the word.
Bird is.
Ash, stop it! Stop it! That's what I was thinking when you said it. Both of you get out of my head. We are too similar.
Speaking of birds too, and here's something else that I was like, oh my god, they threw that. So back to Jungle Cruise. There is a little reference to the Enchanted Tiki Room in the Jungle Cruise movie. Yeah,
Okay.
It's a little nod. I don't think it's anything big. It's not going to be like Enchanted Tiki Room film or anything
But
like
that's
that.
all it needs. It just needs a little tip of the hat.
So you know what? I could spoil this because it's not a big deal. So Paul Giamatti, he's in this film. He plays a rival.
Paul Giamatti's in this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
To quote CinemaSins, they dragged Paul Giamatti into this.
he was in the trailers. I'm surprised you guys didn't see him in the trailers at all. So
I haven't watched the trailer yet.
Oh, really?
Not really.
Okay. So his character he's like a rival businessman for like Jungle Cruises essentially. He has his own like empire. He has
Galam Gold. Continue.
He has a white cockatoo named Rosita.
Oh, okay.
And the cockatoo talks. So that's a little
Does it sound like Galam Gold?
No.
I now just want to go back and watch that Glomgold episode where he forgets he's Glomgold.
See, I want to watch the opening where he does Glom Tales. I'm sorry, continue. I think that's honestly, I knew they were going to do things like that. That's what I actually do want to see the movie. It just, also, I'm sorry, again, you have two leads, and I'm like, Emily Blunt and The Rock. How can we go wrong? These are two good actors, and an actor and actress who are just fantastic at what they do. Come on.
Oh, and Jesse Plemons is in it, too.
Okay.
He plays a German. So
Jawohl.
His accent, I'm like, you're not, I mean, it's Jesse Plemons. The guy's a good actor. I've seen him in a few of those gangster films. He's a pretty good actor.
Listen, when you're good, you're good. What can you do?
Look, do accents matter? We had Sean Connery play a Russian.
True.
Sean Connery.
Hey, but that's Sir Sean Connery to you. That's Sir Sean Connery. May he rest in peace.
No, I don't acknowledge the Queen. We fought a war over this 200 years ago.
You'll be back. Wait and see.
Yeah. Well, actually, so this shirt, it's off of I found it off.
Really? Well, that shirt is supposed to be something like Hamilton? No kidding.
No, it actually says Triple Little Light Fantastic. It's a mashup of two of Lin-Manuel's characters, Hamilton and the guy from Mary Poppins.
Oh, well.
Jack.
Refuse to watch.
Hey, Emily Blunt. She was good at Mary Poppins.
I don't like Mary Poppins. There, I said it. I don't like Mary Poppins as much as I like Emily Blunt, and frankly, I'm just gonna say it. I have a vendetta. I just do not care for him. His writing is fantastic. His acting actually makes me want to jump out a basement window. I do not like Lin-Manuel Miranda as an actor. I do not like him as a performer. I do not understand the attraction, other than he wrote and produced the piece, therefore we have to let him star in it. Barf. Kill me. Continue.
How are you jumping out a basement window?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Oh, that's Hair Nation. That's the one, guys. The Keith Ross favorite thing because it makes him want to jump out of your basement window.
Well,
right.
That incredible bombshell.
Everyone jump out of their basement windows.
I can climb out of my basement window. I have one right here. I even have a ladder in it.
That's not fair. See, if something happens in my basement, I can't fit out those windows. I'm done. I'm going to burn from the inside out.
And that's why your basement's not considered living space.
It is not considered living space. It is not finished in any fashion. It's where I do my laundry.
But on that incredible bombshell, I need to get up early in the morning to take Bella to school. So, I'm Dozer.
I'm Bruce.
And I'm Brian.
Hasta la bye-bye. Don't let the door hit you, or the good Lord split you.
We're the idiots, so you don't